Okay, today we're going to debug a vintage electromechanical pinball machine. It's a Bally Sky-Divers from 1964, and this is the, let's say, schematic. The schematic actually is in ladder logic, so it can be interpreted, and the logic analyzed and followed. So these are available. You can't debug pinball machine without it from this Internet Pinball database. Down here it says documentation schematic diagram, which I've downloaded. Pinball machine itself, Bally Sky-Divers, and the fault is here. So I'm just going to show you what happens when you start the machine on. So you turn the power on, nothing happens. That was me pressing, dropping a coin. It was alive for about 3 seconds and then it died. Had a look inside. It did actually release the balls. The game credit counter has moved to 2, and the start trip reset, and I say it's dead. So, looking at the schematic, the sort of, let's say the start process sort of goes from left to right, and the extreme left is the primary of the transformer. So rather than work with this, I redrew it, translating these symbols. So there's a normally open symbol, let's say there, and there's a normally closed there. When I say normally, that means before it's been activated. And there's a single pole double throw switch there, which needs to be looked at actually on the physical machine to figure out what it's actually going to do. So, redrawing this part, or parts of it that are significant, using this as a relay or a solenoid. Difference between a relay and a solenoid is a solenoid actually moves something, does something like a flipper. A latching relay, which once you activated it, stays activated and needs to be reset, physically reset to go back to its normal state, inactive. This is a motor, this is a switch. Current coming down here will flow through this one, a closed contact, when it's inactive. When it's activated, it switches so that the current comes through this one and opens that one. These are single switches, normally open, so when it's inactive, no current passes through. Normally closed, current passes through when it's inactive. So here's the redrawing of the left-hand power supply, the transformer primary circuit. So the next thing I wanted to show you was ChatGPT trying to analyze this, and it realized it's ladder logic. It found rung 1 and said start trip 1 switch is closed and single play button is pressed. Then, well, it says energize these things, but the most important thing is energize the transformer. It says energize the whole relay, but it's not. That's a switch. It's not a relay. So I suppose what it means is that power is getting to that plate, and obviously it's coming along here too. So it's actually better to write your own, and this is my attempt. So I said when it's quiescent, the start trip is inactive. It will be on power on, and the single play, if the single play coin button is activated, the coin's inserted, then the start trip activates. Otherwise, if the start trip is active, result of this tripping, then start trip 1 connects neutral to the transformer common down here, and start trip 1 disconnects neutral for runs 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's this part of the circuit that's now active. Rung 5, 1, 2, 3, this one. If the start trip is active, which it is, 4C motor switch is inactive, and it's only active on step 5 of the score rotor, so that's closed. and the trip bank, which is on the side of the start trip relay, is so that will be closed. And when that happens, the trip bank reset solenoid is activated, and that resets all the trips, including that one. So the switch up here goes back to inactive, waiting for another coin drop. So let's have a look at the other side of the this is the secondary of the transformer. Power now is, when the transformer is active, comes down this rung, and if the front door anti-cheat switch has not been tampered with, nor the shut-off switch nor the bounce switch, the whole relay kicks in. Now that's not a reset trip like that one. That just pulls in and stays pulled in whenever all this is true. So the fault was the score reels increment, the ball release. Well, we haven't seen any of that circuitry. The game counter increments properly, haven't seen that circuitry either. The start trip is reset, so that's reset now, and the play area is dead. Well, when the start trip is reset and inactive, this rail to the transformer is not powered by the start trip. It's going to have to be powered by the hold relay. So we'll be pretty sure that the hold relay is the problem. This hold relay. So finding these switches is a bit of a trick. I mean, the front door doesn't have much on it, so you could find that. The shut-off switch is it's a button in the middle of the bottom of the unit, and it looks like it's stopping people kicking it. So I don't really understand why that was necessary. The bounce switch, which was quite hard to find, eventually I did find it top right. This thing had fallen off and was hiding underneath the relay boards. So I replaced this, and the pinball machine started up and went into its reset mode forever. So that'll be the subject of the next video.